Good morning. This idea was given to me by a comment that I can't find. I'm sorry, but thank you for the idea. Today I'm going to be ranking Danganronpa characters based on whether or not I think they would survive the apocalypse. I decided to make it a zombie apocalypse. The usual rules apply. Don't stop believing, hold on to the feeling, streetlights. And these are the categories. Survive and thrive. This person was born to be in the apocalypse. They're killing it. Like, they're not just surviving, they're living. Survives by sheer luck. It's not this person's skill or talent or wherewithal that is allowing them to survive. They just are. Survives for a bit and then dies. Dies immediately. And zombie. This person gets turned and probably eats their friends. So, yeah, let's get this bread. Fuihiko. I'm gonna put Fuihiko in survive and thrive. In the situation where Peko is killed, I think he tries to intentionally delete himself, but once he gets over it, he's good. He's thriving. He is doing especially well with this, like, apocalyptic hierarchy. Like, you know how in every zombie apocalypse thing, there's, like, a new social hierarchy that emerges in different groups and stuff like that. I think Fuihiko would be good at running one of those groups as the ultimate mafioso, or whatever the fuck. So Fuihiko, survive and thrive, but it takes character development first. Genocide Jack / Jill. I'm gonna say she survives and thrives. What better situation for a serial killer to be in than an apocalypse, where killing people is fine and perhaps expected of you. She's mean, nasty with those scissors. She could convert her skills. Those are transferable skills. She goes from murdering men who are not zombies with her scissors to murdering zombies with her scissors. We gotta weaponize that alternate personality. Chiaki. I don't know if I want to say that Chiaki survives by sheer luck or survives for a bit and then dies. I'm gonna say Chiaki survives by sheer luck. A lot of narrow misses for Chiaki. Chihiro. I'm gonna say Chihiro survives for a bit and then dies. Sorry, but you're just not cutting it. Himiko. I'm gonna say Himiko survives by sheer luck, just like she did in-game. She always says shit like, I'm gonna heal the zombies with my magic. I'm gonna find the cure for the zombieism with my magic. And everyone's like, okay. It would be a funny bit, though, if she was like, I don't need a gun or a spear. I have my magic. And then, like, every time a zombie's about to get her, like, something falls on it, something happens, and everyone's like, maybe she is magic. Hiyoko. Hiyoko survives for a bit and then dies. She is useless. And an asshole. So she only survives for a while because she's, with everybody else. But she has zero self-preservation skills, and she's way too egotistical for her own good. So somebody says something like, oh, Hiyoko, don't go there, it's dangerous. And she'd be like, don't tell me what to do, bitch. And then she gets killed. Junko. Putting Junko in, zombie. Junko creates, like, saw trap type things with the zombies and puts people in there for fun. And then once she gets bored, she allows herself to be changed into the undead because the ultimate despair is a rotting corpse, like, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Kokichi. I'm gonna say Kokichi survives by sheer luck. He continually tries to hostile take over the group of survivors, and he's like, I'm the ultimate supreme leader. I should be in charge. And everyone's like, you're gonna get us killed. No. He's very salty that he's not in charge of the group of survivors. Believe it or not, Mikan, I'm going to put her in survive and thrive. Mikan's a nurse. And I can't think of a talent more important than that in the apocalypse. Mikan's own survival skills and self-preservation skills aren't great, but everyone is very dedicated to protecting her because you're going to need a fucking nurse. And perhaps her freaky, disturbed urges will allow her to create a cure. She'll get all weird and be like, I'm gonna start human experimentation. And everyone's like, I mean, fucking whatever, man. It's the apocalypse. Go nuts, show nuts. Nagito. Nagito survives by sheer luck. So many narrow misses. That dude is almost bit 1,000 times a day. Teru dies immediately. Toko. Toko herself, without Genocide Jack / Jill, I'm gonna say she survives by sheer luck. Byakuya. Byakuya survives and thrives. Byakuya's domineering personality is actually helpful in the apocalypse. Byakuya is commanding and decisive. There cannot be any fucking around and willy-nilly in the apocalypse. I think Byakuya makes a good apocalypse leader. Ryoma. I'm going to say Ryoma survives for a bit and then dies. Not because he is incompetent in any way, but I believe that he would start engaging in, like, this sort of passively self-destructive behavior. Like, he's not actively trying to log off permanently, but he's also not taking measures to prevent his own demise, you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely think he's one of those people where he loses one too many loved ones, and he's just like, fuck this, man. Why am I trying so hard to survive? Ryoma is literally that tweet that's like, man, why are people trying to survive the apocalypse so bad? I'm logging off immediately. Suichi. Believe it or not, I think Suichi survives and thrives and helps find, like, the source of the zombie apocalypse or helps find a cure or something. Suichi's, like, main trait that allows him to survive is his unrelenting search for the truth. And in that way, Suichi can be, I don't know if manipulative is the right word, but definitely good at getting information out of people. He doesn't care what method he has to use. He's getting that information. He's getting the truth. So he would be good as, like, an interrogator or whatever. Samugi. Here's the thing about Samugi. She's a cosplayer and a writer, I guess. I don't see the penchant for violence and bloodlust in her that Junko had. I'm gonna say she survives by sheer luck. I don't see her contributing anything productive. Angie. Angie survives for a bit and then dies. I really feel like Angie, you know, she's very religious. And in the beginning, she would be like, Atua shall provide. Atua shall show us the path. And everyone's like, okay, everyone is dealing with the apocalypse in their own way. If she wants to, you know, delve deeper into her religion, then whatever you need to do to make this okay. But then it gets worse. Be like, Angie, don't forget to put on, like, your protective gear before you go outside of the city walls so the zombies don't get you. And she'd be like, the only armor I need is God's armor. Like, she'd kind of make these choices that are a little reckless because God will protect her. And you know what, Atua does not prevent her from getting bitten, so sorry, Ange. Rantaro. Rantaro survives and thrives. You need somebody that can be level-headed, and that's what I get out of Rantaro. Also, ultimate survivor. So he survives, obviously. Aoi. Aoi survives and thrives. She is very tenacious. She is very athletic. She is, you know, very loyal and believes in her friends. Aoi makes it through. Korikyo. I think he survives for a bit and then dies. I think he becomes far too fascinated with the zombies and really wants to figure out how, like, much humanity is left in them. Like, are they fully dead and gone with no consciousness and they are just bumbling corpses? Or is there a consciousness trapped by this cannibalistic bloodlust? Like, he gets more and more and more curious and starts trying to, like, capture them and study them, and in that, he dies. Makoto. Makoto survives by sheer luck. Because that's what he does. Ibuki. I'm going to say Ibuki survives for a bit and then dies. Something tells me that Ibuki would either get a little too brave or she would struggle to grasp the severity of certain situations. Like, she'd be like, I can run through that horde, and then just, like, runs head on into a fucking horde of zombies. Like, I think she would survive for a while, but the longer she survived, the kind of cockier she got. Also, Ibuki is completely unable to be quiet. They'd be like, Ibuki, we can make it around this group of zombies if we're very quiet. And she'd be like, right on! I don't know what this was. Right on! And then she'd die. Kaede. I'm going to say Kaede survives for a bit and then dies. I feel like the one thing we know about Kaede is she is willing to sacrifice herself for her friends. And so I think if the group ran low on supplies or something like that, Kaede would give everyone else her food or her medicine or whatever, and then pretend everything's fine, and then she'd die. Mihiru. I think Mihiru dies immediately. I don't know why, my first impulse is, like, the dead wife narrative. Everyone, like, Mihiru dies immediately, and it becomes the motivation for the plot. Everyone imagines Mihiru, like, wearing white on the beach, and she's, like, under the white sheets. You You know what I'm saying? Big dead wife energy. Hero survives by sheer dumb luck. So that's as true he is. Also makes wild predictions about the apocalypse. Like, I think there's like a 67% chance that the zombies don't want human flesh. They just want our blood. And everyone's like, Hero, that doesn't really make a fucking difference. Either of those options, they have to kill us to get to them, so thanks for your input. Celeste, I'm gonna say, survives and thrives. Gambling is not a talent that I feel like is coming in handy necessarily, but it's her attitude. She is cold, she is calculating, she is cunning. I think her gambling skills, actually, I'm gonna retract that. I feel like, not that I know fuck about gambling, but the thing about gambling is there's a lot of, like, odds and likelihoods and things like that, which means there is a 92% chance that we shall survive the night. Very analytical of you, Celeste. She always puts herself first, and that's essential to survival in the zombie apocalypse, so. Hifumi, that dude is dead as fuck. Hifumi is like 400 pounds. His legs are like this big. He's an artist. Like, he's not living. Kyoko survives and thrives. She's very smart. She's very level-headed. Sayaka, sorry, queen. She dies immediately. She has the ultimate, big dead wife energy. Sayaka is the dead wife. Like, her and Mihiru, just imagine them being playful under the bed sheets, walking barefoot in the sand. All of this is shot on, like, a camcorder. Motivation for the plot, baby. Sorry, Sayaka. You are doomed by the narrative. You are always destined to die. Soda. I'm gonna say Soda survives by sheer luck. Soda's skill set is extremely essential to the group. And while Soda may make some silly decisions that could get himself hurt, he has too many other people protecting him to die. Kaito. Kaito is the guy that gets bit or injured or something and hides it from the group, and he, like, progressively gets, like, sweatier and paler and weirder, and everyone's like, Kaito, are you okay? And he's like, I just have a cold. And, like, he, like, has a bite, and he, like, quickly pulls down his sleeve. Like, he does that shit in canon. Like, Kaito survives for a bit and then dies. Kaito is absolutely hiding his bite from the group. Gundam. Gundam survives and thrives. Gundam is like the Lord of Darkness and demons and evil, or whatever the fuck he says about himself. Gundam's attitude is a lot of what helps him survive, along with the harness to the power of the Dark Devas. Sorry that my Apple Watch band is so fucking dirty. This is, I got this 1 week ago. This is 1 week of work. This is how dirty it is. Did you guys know I'm a blue-collar baddie? Oh yeah, I feel like Gundam's animal knowledge is coming in extremely handy. Like, someone would kill a deer to eat and be like, wow, this deer was so easy to kill. It was, like, very friendly and it was acting strangely. And he would be like, we must not eat that deer. And they'd be like, Gundam, why? We're starving. We need to eat this deer. And he'd be like, that deer's mind is being compromised by forces beyond our comprehension. The wasting disease that deer get is no fucking joke. That is one of the things I am most scared of in the world. That's like the realest example we have of the idea of a zombie is the wasting disease that deer get, essentially. Leon. I'm gonna say he survives for a bit and then dies. I feel like Leon would get a little too cocky. There also might be a parallel, like an in-game parallel, where Leon would sacrifice Sayaka for his own survival, or she would, like, kill him by accident, that kind of thing. Yeah, I feel like Leon, he survives at first, but he gets a little too big for his britches, you know what I mean? He survives for long enough where he's like, yeah, I'm a survivor, and he gets cocky. Miu. I'm gonna put Miu in the same, like, thought process as Soda survives by sheer luck, because while I feel like Miu wouldn't be as foolish as Soda, I feel like she is going to be heavily protected by the group for her skill set. Sonia Nevermind is going to survive and thrive. Sonia is a real weird freak, okay? She is deeply fascinated by the undead, but not to the point where it gets her killed, like Korkio. Sonia's fascination with the zombies would help the group either come up with a cure or learn what started the apocalypse, just because she would be like, oh, I heard about that kind of thing once in this weird fucked up book I read. Like, you know, that kind of thing. You know how in The Walking Dead, Michonne had those two walkers on a chain and she had cut their arms off and cut their bottom jaw off and they were just like her pets? Sonia does that. Not for like emotional reasons, but because she's a freak. Maki. If there was a category above Survive and Thrive, I would put Maki in that. There is no one more prepared for the apocalypse than Maki. She's Daryl Dixoning it with the crossbow. She's got spears. She is just going apeshit. She's got a shotgun with a bayonet on the end. Oh, that's a good art idea. I should draw Maki with a shotgun with a bayonet. That fucks. I'm gonna draw that. Yeah, Maki is absolutely killing it. Akane. My knee-jerk instinct is survives by sheer luck. But Akane is an athlete, is a gymnast. Akane could escape zombies in a way that no one else could. I'm going to put Akane in Survive and Thrive. Akane is sent out on recon missions because of the way she can just, like, escape situations with her gymnastic abilities. The Imposter. I'm going to put the Imposter in Survive and Thrive. They are an excellent leader, obviously. I do think they would be miserable because less food. Yeah, again, we need that kind of level-headed calmness in our leadership here. And the thing about the Imposter is they deeply care about the group, but not to a point of detriment. Like, some of these characters, I think they care about other people so much that it would lead to their downfall. I don't see that happening with the Imposter. Gonta. Gonta survives by sheer luck. Believe it or not, I think Gonta's talent would be quite useful. Insects are an incredibly helpful thing for the environment. Like, we need bees, that kind of thing. Insects also are humanity's downfall. The number one cause of death in humans is mosquitoes. There are some bugs that are very, very dangerous to us. And having Gonta, who knows everything about them, I feel like could be helpful. Also, Gonta is absolutely fucking huge. So obviously he's strong. And also he grew up in the wilderness. So Gonta's like ready. Actually, I'm putting Gonta in Survive and Thrive. Gonta doesn't survive by sheer luck. Gonta survives because I love him. Hajime. Alright. Here's the thing. The anime for Danganronpa 2, I've seen the first part of the anime. I haven't seen the second part of the anime. So I've seen the pre-game part of that show. So I don't know if this is canon or not, but in my world, in my brain, Hajime and Izuru kind of merge. So it's like Hajime's personality and like some of Izuru and Izuru's talents, like they've met in the middle. I don't see Izuru as a distinct separate personality like Toko and Genocide Jack or whatever. So my version of Hajime survives and thrives. He is possibly our most important character here because he knows everything. Taka. I posted a video that was TikToks that made me think of Danganronpa characters, and in one of them, there was a bit by a stand-up comedian where he was talking about how his husband is a doomsday prepper. His husband was like, "Oh, I got you like a gun purse, and your job is to carry the guns around." And in that video, I had that as Taka and Mondo, and Taka is the doomsday prepper. Taka's a doomsday prepper. Taka survives and thrives. Kibo. My struggle with placing Kibo in stuff like this is like, I don't fully understand his robotism. Like, someone pointed out to me that Kibo, until he gets his upgrades at the end of the game, he's not strong. And when they're trying to figure out the password for the door, he, like, can't remember the numbers that Monokuma is telling him. Like, it's way too fast. Or, like, Monokuma is speaking way too fast for him. So, like, what robotic abilities does Kibo have that a human wouldn't? What robot abilities does Kibo have? Danganronpa? It's spelled Kibo with a C. Okay, he's waterproof. He can record audio. He has improved eyesight. Oh, he can form his hands into 20 different tools. He can shoot missiles. He has a learning AI. Oh yeah, and then when he leveled up, he could fly. Those are all very useful things. Those are all incredibly useful. Kibo is going in survive and thrive. Kurumi. I think Kurumi survives and thrives. I feel like she would do very well being in charge of, like a makeshift town, like a little society. She would be very good at, like, scheduling who does what jobs, how many supplies, like, we have, who needs to build houses, who needs to do what everybody needs. She's the ultimate maid. Like, I looked up, what specific talents she possesses as the ultimate maid, because it's a little different than a normal maid. Like, you'd say ultimate maid and you'd think, like, okay, she cleans and brings me my meal, like room service. Kurumi is like the ultimate assistant, if that makes sense. This Google AI overview says she can handle everything from basic housekeeping and cooking to more complex duties like running a business, providing security, and even resolving hostage situations. Her skills extend to more unconventional tasks as well, such as handling political negotiations and even potentially dangerous situations. Her creed is duty before self. So I think she would be an excellent, like, little mayor, like being in charge of the operations of the town. So I'm gonna put Kurumi in survive and thrive. I feel like this is the kind of thing that her skill set is really good for. Mondo. The very first thought I had about any character when I decided to do this video was that Mondo would get himself killed by being a fucking idiot and being like, I'm a man, I can do it, and then he dies. I think Taka would rather drink poison than have anything happen to Mondo. So I'm gonna put Mondo in survives by sheer luck, but it's not sheer luck, it's because he has Taka. Mukuro Ikusaba survives and thrives. She's the ultimate soldier. Are you kidding me? Nekomaru. Nekomaru survives and thrives. He's very strong. He trains everybody to be stronger and more athletic, thus improving their chances at survival. He's very, like, passionate and resilient. I think Nekomaru does well. Peko. I think Peko survives for a bit and then dies. The thing about Peko is that she is completely willing to sacrifice herself for Fuyuhiko or Fuyuhiko's wants without a second thought. So I think she would throw herself into a horde of zombies for him, like, without even blinking. So she survives for a bit and then dies. I think she would sacrifice herself for Fuyuhiko. Like, maybe even a little too quickly. Sakura. Sakura survives and thrives. Very calm, very level-headed. Like, she's honorable, she's reasonable, and she's stronger than shit. Tenko. I don't know why, but I feel like Tenko survives for a bit and then dies. I see her doing some reckless shit. A zombie would be going for a girl, and she'd be like, I'll save you, my queen, and then she gets bitten. Like, I know she's the ultimate Aikido master, but I don't know, I see her doing some freak shit. That her Korikyo is like, I need you for my experiments, and then gets her killed in the name of anthropology science. Alright, so that's everybody. Here is the results. I'm pretty satisfied with this. Every time I hit a new subscriber milestone, I do a Q&A to celebrate. I've been doing them on, like, as YouTube live streams. So if you have any kind of questions or anything for me, there's a link in the description of this video where you can send me an anonymous question, and I'll answer it in the next Q&A. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.